Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426 and today we have the review of the premium exclusive or P-Bandai exclusive RG or real grade Zgok mass production type. Now the normal release version being the Char version, which is basically the same mobile suit but colored in red. So if you buy this, the instruction manual comes in the same as the normal release RG Zgok, which is pretty common in premium Bandai because usually they're based on the normal release kit with either different weapons, color, or something else. Unless it's a really different looking one, they usually go for the same manual. So this is technically my second real grade kit, okay? However, my first being the real grade or RG Zeta Gundam, it was a total nightmare. It disgusted me, so it gave me a terrible impression on real grades. I thought I'd never buy one, but I tried to give it one more chance, and I got this one because I was planning to get a lot of amphibious type mobile suits, the Zgok being one of them. The Zgok was kind of too old for me, or no offense, but it was just too old, and I felt like waiting for a revived version is going to take like forever, or at the worst scenario, not even going to happen. So I went for this one, the premium Bandai. I got this for even cheaper than the normal release. I don't know why, but not many people know about this version because when it came out, there was a big hype going on something else, so nobody really cared about this. So that's that. So what you get from this kit is, of course, the Zgok itself. You get a you get the option to make the 4-clawed hands, or basically you get the claw based on 3, but the Char version had 4, so you still get the option to make each one of them. Of course, you don't have enough claw, so you would have to replace the part and add another claw to that. So yeah, you get for each arm, so you get 2 of these as well. As you can see, you get 2 of these, and yeah, enough claws as well. So that's that. And you get some additional, instructions telling you what's like added or not, and then where you're supposed to put the decals on this version, which is almost the same. However, the problem is the decals shown on the picture does not match the one I have here. The Char version having the 07S, which makes sense. However, this one, according to this one, says 07, and I don't see or didn't have any of them, so I'm assuming they were like sold separately, or I just got a defective one or whatever. But I'm not too picky on decals, so I don't really mind. So let's get on to the review now. Real grades, as far as I can put it in the most simplest term, is that they're not 100% exactly a master grade in 1/100 scale, because they're basically high grades but with more detail and more articulation there and there. So this is a 1/144 scale with a inner frame, but the inner frame is not like the ones that we see in master grades where we build up the inner frame. These have like pre-built exoskeleton or skeleton type inner frames. So you would cut them off directly, and then you would just fold a few parts and you have the inner frame. And on that inner frame you would add on more pieces like these round parts, the outer armor part. And however, the problem is these pre-built, in my own opinion, is that these pre-built inner frames are stiff as crap. So they are really they give you a lot of pain in the fingers, and they don't move that well at first, and they have that really fragile feeling. Right now I tried to move this arm, it's been loosened up a little bit, but when first trying to move it, oh, it was just stiff as crap. I was actually scared that I might break it, and it did happen with my Zeta Gundam. So okay, so this is my opinion on RG. They're fragile, they're unstable, and they're really just for show. They just look good and that's it. No play value, not much to do. Sometimes having too much details ruins the kit or the concept. I'll state my opinion on RGs a little bit more later, but let's get on to the review. So one thing I do like about the amphibious types is that unlike normal MSs, they don't really have like hands like this, unless except for a few types. So they have like built-in weapons. So the one thing I really liked about this one, if I had to mention it, is that the claws. RG hands, oh boy, I'm not a big fan of those. The claws can open as well, and while the Char version being entirely white, this has like a little bit of a different tone, I think. Now I don't have the Char version, so I'm not really sure. But basically, same kit, different recolor. Let's start with the main body. The main body, well, as usual with the amphibious, the main head and body are built into one. There's a mono eye inside there, and they did a really good job on the mono eye, where you would put a metallic sticker inside, and then you put another clear piece on top of it, so it has that stable connection, and it looks like it gives out more shining effect, and it can move pretty much any direction because it's on a I'm not sure what you call this, like a hinge system, so it can move up and down a little bit, but currently it doesn't move that much. But it can go the eye can go 360 if you wish to do so. You know, but every time you open if you want to move the eye, you have to open this part. Very nice color separation, that I will admit. So right now, the only sticker I've actually used is the mono eye. Anything else you see here, they're all color separation. The body, well, I don't know. This has almost the same movement as the master grade, I think. It can go left to right a little bit, and then forward, backward, not from the main body, but mostly through the waist. Well, yeah, actually, yeah, on the middle section, it can move up, forward, and backward a little bit. 360 on the body. Well, okay, I wouldn't say it's impossible. If you can loosen up the part, it's technically possible, but remember, this has like those pre-built inner frames, and anything that moves on those are extremely stiff, so you might actually risk breaking something if you try to force anything. So be careful. You need to study the inner frame in order to not to damage anything or break anything. So basically, you need to observe a lot. Currently, I should mention that despite the amount of small pieces this thing has, they don't really fall off that easily. So the arm, this is an amphibious mobile suit, so you can't really expect a 90-degree bend or something. But the arms, as you can see, this pre-built inner frame arm has a lot of like articulation this and there, which I come to the point kind of unnecessary yet to a certain point. But so each of these parts move on its own. It can move. They have their own like articulation, so they move about 20 to 30, they bend about 20 to 30 degrees each. And this main big claw has its own articulation, which goes about that much. I can't really say how much, but yeah. And they do reveal some of these kind of parts if you do, like, go overboard. There we go. So there's nothing blocking it. There's no like shoulder armor. So technically 360 is possible if you can call this 360. As you can see, because the reason how I do this, or the way how I do this, is that the part that I just spinned wasn't the entire arm. Basically, you see that this arm is spinning by its own because there's another joint between these two. And I'm sorry, because I'm not really used to, or like I'm not really professional to RG, so they're kind of difficult to explain as a person who've only done like master grades and high grades before. But basically, for an amphibious mobile suit, it has enough articulation to pull off most poses that you wish to do so. Alright, that's it. The waist, there's nothing too special on the waist. It does have something that looks like a front skirt, back skirt armor, but not really. The design, same method of doing these parts. They all have their own each articulation. Can go 90 degrees up front, and then it can bend. I can't say it's a double joint like a high grade, but it bends 90 degrees but reveals like an inner frame a little bit, and this part, the knee part, kind of goes up. So RGs, I have to say that instead of like going for more articulations, they went for more details and other gimmicks rather than like focus on articulation. Because a high grade, for example, modern high grade would have already had like double joints in the legs and arms, but while this one has less articulation but more like gimmicks going on. One thing that I didn't expect is these like propellers things, where basically these are like separate propeller pieces, and they do spin if you wish to do so. The same goes onto the backpack or whatever you call these, but they're inside there as well. And the backpacks do move a little bit if you wish to do so. The feet, nothing too special. They're just connected. They're not connected to a ball joint, but a peg, but connected very tightly. So yeah, I wouldn't really worry them falling off. And there is despite being a 1:144 scale, it does have a cockpit. But let's see if I can actually open this thing. Okay, it opened up, but there's no pilot inside. Okay, I think they didn't go for that. They do, however, they do give you a small pilot figurine if you want to have one. I think it's just a random pilot figure like this. So yeah. And that actually like concludes my review. Sorry for like the messy review, but I'm not really too familiar with real grades, this being my second, and to be honest, comparing to a high grade, I didn't really have fun building this because there's like too much movement going on, too much small pieces, a little bit too much details, unnecessary details, to be honest. I think I had more fun building my recent review of the HGUC Zgok. I think I had more fun building him rather than this one. I will admit it does look good. However, if you've actually built a few RGs, you might know what I mean. They kind of feel fragile. They feel unstable time to time. One thing I'm expecting in the future is that these joints here, these pre-built inner frames, are going to feel even more looser now, because the more I move it, the more looser they get. And one thing I don't like about those frames is that this happened to my real grade Zeta gun, where I didn't break it, but a part actually detached to each other, where the pre-built inner frame, and I had terrible trouble fixing that. Anyway, that's basically it. This is basically a recolor of the normal release RG Char Zgok. To be honest, the real grade had some potential. Despite I don't like having those pre-built inner frames, they would have at least been better if they... Basically, I'm not complaining about the quality. I can see why these are happening, but I'm not complaining about the quality, but it's the mobile suits that they choose to make an RG out of. For now, we had Mark II Gundam, Zeta Gundam, even we came up to the Sinanju, we even had a Zaku, and they were doing pretty well until they announced like Strike Freedom, and now they're releasing a Build Strike, Astray, Goldframe Amatsu Mina, basically, which is a remold or a variant of an already existing one. If they would have done better if actually they tried making some more other mass production types like this, like, I don't know, maybe a Gelgu Dom or even a GM, a Goof, would have been actually interesting to see, but they keep killing the potential by the choices of mobile suits they're going for. So that's my opinion. Anyway, thank you for watching the review for the Premium Bandai exclusive or P-Bandai exclusive RG Zgok mass production type. I got this cheaper. If you can find a cheaper version than the normal release version, go for it. You won't have much regrets. It's basically the same kit with different color scheme. So yeah, I won't say anything about recommending to certain people because I'm not a big fan of RG. So, and yeah, my opinion could be one-sided. So hope this review can actually help you guys. Sorry for not showing the inner frame because I have no idea how to show that unless I'm on the building process. Thank you for watching. If you found this review informative, please like my videos and subscribe to my channel. I still have more kits to buy and build, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.